everybody. I wanted to go ahead and introduce your project to you. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it, and you're going to be actually putting into practice some of the stuff that we learned last semester. So what you're going to do is you and a partner are going to create and conduct an experiment to investigate the effects of response bias. So you're going to intentionally introduce something that creates a response bias in a treatment group, and then you'll compare that with a different treatment group that's just a control group. So things like creating a manipulative question, or conducting the interview differently or with a different appearance affecting the outcome. Is anonymity going to affect the outcome? These are the kind of questions that you can look at for your project. There are several components to your project. The original proposal is worth a quarter of the overall grade. If the proposal isn't approved the first time, you will need to resubmit it for a reduced grade. So you'll get a penalty, but you can still resubmit it if there are mistakes or it's not well thought out or something. You can read the rest of the details there. What you should be writing about is your topic and what kind of bias you're investigating. Describe how you're going to obtain your subjects. This has to be practical because you're actually going to do this. Your population doesn't necessarily need to be from Bear Creek, but that's probably the most convenient, especially given the remote-ish nature of stuff right now. A lot of people are going to just be easier to contact through Teams. So that's my recommendation. And you should not interrupt any classes when you actually talk to these people. Now, you're going to describe what your questions are and how you're going to ask them, including how you're going to talk about, or you're going to incorporate control, whether or not you're going to do blocking, how you're going to make it random, all that good stuff. This should be a well-designed experiment as much as possible. Of course, if you're not sure about something, you can always ask me before you submit it, but make sure you think these things through really well. And as long as these are done well, the rest of the project is going to be that much easier for you. After you do the experiment, you're going to write up a report talking about the different components. So there's going to be an introduction, giving me an overall view. There's going to be a methodology section. What did you actually do to conduct your experiment? Show me the results. You can use Excel. You could use other programs out there. I'm sure there's apps and stuff that make cool tables. But make it look nice and make it a well-designed graph or table to show me your results. And then some conclusions. Be specific. What did you learn? And if you ran into problems, or if something happened that you think messed up or interfered with the outcome, talk about that. What you're actually doing here is what researchers actually do, and sometimes things don't go according to plan or something unforeseen happens. So talk about that kind of stuff here in with your conclusions about the results of your study. And then attach your original proposal. So I would also like you to make a PowerPoint kind of summarizing this project so that if you were to present it, you could. I'm not quite sure if we'll have time for a presentation or not. I would like to, but I will get back to you on this, whether or not you're actually going to present. But I would still like you to make one in any case, as if you were. So your proposal is going to be due January 14th. We'll have a couple of work days before then for you to really think things through. But with the extended class periods in Jan term, I'd really like you to think this out and get some work done. And then moving forward, I want you to have your data collected by the 29th. And then the written report and the PowerPoint actually turned in February 9th. So you've got some checkpoints along here to kind of help you manage your time with this project. And like I said, I hope you find it fun and interesting to actually do some of the stuff that we've talked about. Total of 100 points. You can see how it's distributed here. And then I've had some really interesting projects over the years, and I wanted to give you some examples of what students have done before that ended up being really interesting. So cartoons, they just asked kind of neutrally, do you still watch, or do you watch cartoons? 90% said yes. And then the treatment group, they asked kind of sarcastically, do you still watch cartoons? And there was a significantly lower amount of yeses. So this has to do with the wording of the question and even the characteristic of the interview, right? How it was asked made a difference. So here, which do you prefer, milk or orange juice as a breakfast drink? Compared with, milk contains high levels of vitamin D and calcium. Do you prefer milk or orange juice? So obviously a very leading question in the second one. In the third example, this question was exactly the same, but in the treatment group, it was made not anonymous, and in the control group, it was anonymous. And then makeup, this was an interesting study done on makeup. It was a question asked all to males, and the female asking the question was either wearing makeup or not, and there was a significant difference in their opinion about makeup. And then time online, notice that the question is exactly the same except for the ranges of answers. So this produced some interesting results. Anyway, I hope that gets you started well. I'm going to put a partner sign up in the collaboration space so you guys can pick your partners and start thinking of an example. And keep in mind that the proposal itself is going to be due next Thursday. So be thinking through details now and just kind of discussing what you'd like, and feel free to send me any questions you have, or if you need any advice, let me know. All right, I'll see you guys next time.